PDF, it's accessible. Makes it more accessible, yes. Starting point is accessible, creates an accessible document throughout. Good question. So while you're at it, let's use all the built-in features. Hey, they're there to help. They're helpful. They're styles. They're necessary. Styles maintain consistency. You have the bullets. Everybody's used tables. Everybody uses the indent. How many people do space, 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 space? And go that space, 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 number 2, space, 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 space. Yeah, you get caught doing that, and you're like, oh, this doesn't line up. Well, it's like, oh, common sense. Use a table. Use indent. Use a bullet. They automatically, and you can get into that. If you don't like the bullet point, if you don't like the spacing they use, just give a holler. We can, or go on YouTube. They all show you, change my spacing, change my indent, change my bullets. And they'll give you a little run through on it, and they'll show you exactly how you can, it'll be beautiful. And then you use it throughout your whole document, and all of your bullets are beautiful, and all of them are lined up. And you don't have to worry about it. Do it once, get that template kind of thing put set up. Tables, it's easy to do, easy to change. Beautiful borders, you can do all that with that. Then there's lots more different ones, but get used to using the built-in items, okay? Layouts for PowerPoint. I use the layouts. You'll see mine are all kind of structured, simple. A couple are off because I wanted to point those out, and you'll see if you see them. So that I used most of the stuff I'm talking about now, I used in this presentation to build it. Probably took me an extra 10 minutes maybe because I forgot a few things. I had to go back and change them. Other than that, I'm getting so used to doing it, it's second nature, and that's what we're trying to do. Get all this second nature, and then you're making accessible materials without even thinking about it. Okay. Any questions, other questions? Good. Use color, use contrast thoughtfully. And high contrast is your obvious black and white, white and black. Do not use color as the only designator, okay? Does everything make sense when it's printed in black and white? Because a lot of kids, gotta have it printed, gotta have that printed, want that printed, need that printed. And that's their way of learning. Sure enough, they'll print it, library, black and white. Our office, black and white. There's only a few color printers, or nobody wants to spend the money on the cartridges. Doesn't make sense. If you have a color in your presentation, you want to print it black and white. And I'll give you a few examples. Color blindness combinations, red, green, blue, purple, those are types of combinations when they're real close together and they look at them and they're colorblind, they're having trouble distinguishing it. That's the demo, that little kiosk demo. We're going to show you some of those color combinations and items where you'll see there's a problem seeing them if you have a type of color blindness. And we never want to eliminate all the white space. It's one of those common sense things. So I used to call this the good, the bad, the ugly, but the good and the bad, we left out the ugly. Simple enough, it doesn't have to be black and white. So I wanted to show you that you can add color. And it can look nice. The video library, 2 different ways. You use the contrast, but just be thoughtful about it. This one, the busy backgrounds, we got to worry about really crazy busy backgrounds, okay? You really have to pay attention to that. And then here's the contrast, the hues, are too close together, and it's that red and blue close on the color scale. You want to avoid things like that. It does cause problems for some people to read. And then here's another one of high, high, low, and very low. Crazy, but nice black print. Probably thumbs up on that. Okay, here's things you can do, but turn out to be what not to do. If you like my title. A little too long. Too long of a title, obvious. And then I spread it out to the end, so I lost my white space. Okay, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So watch out for doing that. Watch out for busy backgrounds. This is an obvious one too. And then my favorite is just because I can use a lot of colors and effects doesn't mean it's such a good idea or a great idea. this one especially, if you like to do the cross out for some odd reason, line, text, it's being read to me, it reads that word. It doesn't read the cross out. You'd actually have to set the screen reader to identify the feature or the effect, talk to it prior to it in order for it to know that that's a crossed out word. So it's one thing you should avoid. Those are the types of things to avoid. So right now, everybody's got to be going through your head. Does my presentation have to be so boring? Because you would. You think, oh, eliminate. No, no, no. I'm giving you all the no, no, no's. It doesn't. It doesn't mean boring. Just use it accessibly. Borders are beautiful. Can you read me now? I like it. I thought, hey, I still like the psychedelic. If anything's in the 70s, you got to have craziness. And then I chose this to do a little ombre effect. So if you do want to use multiple color combinations, I don't know, for a art class, one of the design classes, it's available. It's accessible. Just have to be careful that I don't go one lighter, because then the background, it blends in and it's harder to see. It's easy to see, hard to see when I lose that white background. Sound good? So you just need to spend a little time, creating your presentations. So here's one, if anybody's traveled to the UK, they have these beautiful tubes and you get to go around in the subway system over there and get you everywhere, almost everywhere, especially when you're in London. And they have this colored map and I couldn't read it. I had people helping me all the time. Thankfully, everybody else knew what they were doing, how to get from here to there. What if it's printed in black and white? Oh, you lose a whole lot of coloring information. So, because that's the most apt way to do it if it's being online, you print it black and white. Somebody said, well, I can't read it, I'm colorblind, or I have a disability in some other way. They've changed it. So this, I didn't have the color copy of this, but this is also in color. And they've changed it enough that now it's unique. I've used unique identifiers. Okay, a little bit more troublesome, maybe, a little bit more work to get that, but look at that. You don't have to change it. If somebody in your course or using your materials comes in and says, I can't read this because I have a disability with my vision problem, now you don't have to change it for them. You have a copy for them to be able to read too. And then our wonderful Blackboard. Blackboard allows these themes, and there's a lot of them. So what I did was I went ahead and I took each one and I put content into them, and I changed the theme, and I took a look at it, and I waited and watched to see if words were overwritten, things like that. And these are the ones I came up with are the most accessible. Other ones are available, and they were borderline, or some were crazy enough to be, don't even have to, you know why it's not on the list, basically. But there's a lot here to choose from. So if you have a course in Blackboard that you're using, and you're using one of these, not a problem. If you're not, you might want to just take a look to see if you can change it to be one of these, or go back to the default. Do you use themes in your course, Becky?
No, I don't do much with the Blackboard.
Oh yeah, that's right. Default. Does anyone else have a course and use the default? That's what I like default.
I use a different theme in each course.
So we gotta go back to Judy's and we'll take a look. My favorite though is the lavender. My daughter's favorite color is purple, so I chose that. I'm glad that one was. So under color, you've got a variety. The design, I thought I'd show them because, okay, I'm not taking away color because it's accessible. These are still accessible. You might even see here, you can still read the Blackboard. They're readable. This one being dark green with the white works perfectly fine. It's accessible. Just have to be conscious that Some aren't. Some are so busy and out there, and they use white print on a light background. And I mean, I could probably write to Blackboard and maybe they could change it, but this one's black on the white background. That works. Okay, questions? Number 5. Let's get through the themes. The next item is to review an accessibility checker suggestions. So built into the Microsoft products and Adobe as well, they provide an accessibility checker. You can do a full check for Acrobat, and it's not the reader, so you have to actually purchase the program to get this, and check accessibility in all of the Microsoft products. I just showed you the Word. It should be the same for PowerPoint. So the checker will present accessibility errors, warnings, and tips, as well as how to repair them. So it gives you the little clue on, hey, this is what's the problem, this is how to repair them. So I give an example. Word 2010, file info, check for issues. It's in under file info, and then check accessibility. And then the next page will actually show an example. Errors, warnings, why and how. Okay, everybody use Microsoft Word? PowerPoint also? Demo? Do you like a demo right now?
Sure.
So I'm gonna give you a demo. Straight away, I'm just gonna go ahead and, hey, I'm using Microsoft product. Let's go ahead and see, I said intentional in my notes, so we're gonna see something. File, check for issues, check accessibility, and voila, I have errors, I have warnings, I have tips. So here's my duplicate slide title, and it takes me right to the duplicate slide title. Accessible Blackboard themes, structure category. If I page up, oh, man, made a mistake. What did I do? Of course, I just duplicate slide, duplicate slide, duplicate slide, so I got the same look and feel. I forgot to change that. So one of them needed to be subject. Make sense?
Oh, yeah.
See? So I would go back to, what are the top 10? Use the built-in functions, and use titles, and use unique titles. So somebody looking at the slides and doing this headings on the slides and trying to see which one I need to get the content from, they're not able to because of the same slide title. They're not sure where they're supposed to be. And this is a little less, problematic. A lot of them are, I'm trying to think of, if you had a slide presentation on Blackboard and you said Blackboard, 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 10 slides in a row, all because that's the information is Blackboard, or demo, 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 you can't distinguish it. It needs to be unique. And so that's what points it out. Warnings, I have unclear hyperlink, we'll go over that, and then errors, missing alternate text. So we'll go over those details in a little bit.
Can I ask a question? So if the heading was accessible Blackboard themes, and you had that on, say, 4 slides, and then you had a subheading, and the subheadings were different, is that okay? Or
Now, so the headings, this one box is a heading.
okay.
And if you look up here on the layout, see they have the title slide and then they have these headings.
Right.
Those are what's populating that side page. And then if you look at,
So like in the history, so say I have things broken into different eras or whatever, and so I hit plague 1, plague, say I might have 5 slides about the plague and then 5 slides about the Renaissance, where I would normally column all that that era, you know what I mean? So should I say like Renaissance art, Renaissance music, Renaissance, like,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'll show you later, and I'll do a 1, 2, continued, and I'll put the ones, so it does distinguish it.